Let's talk about number 9. Here we're going to get some good stuff now, right? This is kind of the newer funky stuff. Artificial intelligence, all right? That's a big one. You know, it's not just a tool for automation. I'm sorry, AI is not just a tool for automation and SEO. It's really reshaping the entire landscape, right? It's a major buzzword these days. I'm sure you've all been hearing more and more about it recently. As an SEO professional, you need to understand how it works, how the engines are using it, and how to apply it in your strategies to enhance things like your content relevance, your user experience, and ultimately your search rankings. So this is about using AI to create a more intuitive and responsive SEO strategy that lines up with the different advanced capabilities of the modern search engines. Here are some common examples of what people use AI-generated content for. Blog posts, writing post titles, creating an outline of the content, social media posts, email newsletters, product descriptions, ad copies for your marketing needs, landing pages, a ton of other great stuff here. This article on Shout Me Loud, it talks a lot about all these different things, what it is, how to use it, you know, what content. There's a good video that you can watch here. Really good stuff, some information from Danny Sullivan, who's like the Google guy, reports about Google, he's the public liaison for Google, really gets into all this stuff. Really, really, really good article about some of the information, some of the predictions, how to use it, how to not avoid getting hammered by doing anything you shouldn't be doing. Because according to Google, advocate John Mueller, content that's generated automatically using AI writing tools is actually against Google's webmaster guidelines. Okay, according to Mueller, AI falls under the category of auto-generated content, which could lead to a manual penalty. So all I'm saying, I'm not saying don't use AI. I'm saying don't copy and paste, thinking that that's a quick way to get a website going. You don't want to do that. No problem in using AI to kind of give you some ideas, kind of give you a structure for something. I mean, I've used AI a bunch of times in creating the courses. You know, I'll go to, okay, hey, create a list of 20 titles for a class about canonical tags. And it'll give me like 20 different names. Like, okay, great. I'll find one I like, or maybe make a combination of 2 or 3 of them. And I'll say, okay, give me a 200-word outline for a 1-hour webinar about, and I put in the title, right? Whose title is this that I've given it. It gives me an outline. It says first 5 minutes introduction, next 10 minutes do this, next 10 minutes do that. Gives me an outline. Great. Then I can go and go, okay, well, here's the first part. Hey, what are some top tips I shouldn't forget about when relating to, you know, ABC? Gives me a list. And then I grab the information, I put it together, I use it. You know, I put my own comments in it, my own information in it, but I'm not strictly copying and pasting. I'm using it as a way to generate ideas. I'm using it as a way to not miss anything, make sure that I'm covering everything, covering all my bases, that kind of thing. Super helpful, okay? And again, this is something in November 2022, Google team cleared doubts about artificially generated content. They said, we haven't said AI content is bad, all right? Let's be clear. What they've said is that pretty clearly, content written primarily for search engines rather than humans is the issue. That's where they're focused on. So if someone fires up 100 humans to write content just to rank, or fires up a spinner or uses AI, it's the same thing. So they're also really good at detecting it. Okay, so you got to be careful that you don't just copy paste. Great to use AI. We love using AI. I like using AI also. Like if I write something out, like a great example of what we're doing with AI these days is when we're redesigning an old website. Okay, an old website that maybe the person who owned the website wrote all the content themselves, but it's only like 500 words of content. So what we'll do is we'll take the content, we'll use the original content, we'll say, hey, using this as a base, expand this to over 1,000 words that, you know, using this as a baseline. And it'll take a lot of the content from that and it'll create new content from that. And that's great because it sounds like you, it reads like you. And, you know, it's already using some of your own words and phrases. So it reads a lot better, it works a lot better. Of course, you just want to check it out, make sure it's not, you know, broken or just is, you know, kind of funky. So again, Danny Sullivan here, again, the Google kind of liaison says, we did talk about a focus on content by people, for people, in their post about improvements like the helpful content system. But the nuance is really that it's unlikely some AI content is going to feel written by people without some degree of human review. And that's what they're getting at. Just put your own spin on it, you know, make it sound right, read it out loud. A lot of times AI content kind of repeats itself again and again and again. Make sure you're not doing that. Make sure you're going in and tweaking things and changing things and give it maybe some of your flavor. Google themselves have been using AI for a long time now, from RankBrain to BERT, which is this bidirectional encoder representation from transformers. That's a long word. But basically what Google's been doing for a long while is trying to understand intent by looking at words before and after where keyword phrase is, like trying to understand the content of a page to get people to the information they want, most quickly. And, BERT's really about meaningful context. So Google can actually understand what you mean, even if it isn't said on a web page. As long as the context of the web page makes sense and connects with what you're talking about, you're going to be okay. There are tools that we're seeing out now that are really big. ChatGPT is the one everyone seems to be talking about right now, but there's tools like WriteSonic. I know my team loves SurgeGraph, especially for longer form content. It can really be helpful. It can pull in information from different websites, and you can kind of put your own spin on it, make more, bigger stuff. Midjourney is a paid one I've heard as well. I haven't used this one, but I've heard some really, really good things about what it can do, from image creation to content creation as well. You got a lot of other ones out there as well. I put a link here to some AI generators. And of course, you got the chat bots that are out there too, that while they can be annoying, they're getting better, where sometimes you actually think you might be talking to somebody. And so you get a little deeper into the conversation. You go, oh, wait, they're going to put you in touch with somebody. Like, oh, okay. So those are also out there. And then actually, I was browsing something on social media, and this popped up. I think it was like a TikTok or something, or when they shared into Facebook. I thought this was really cool. They were like, here's what you get, like solves anything, use ChatGPT. If you want to write anything, use WriteSonic. If you want to generate art, go to Midjourney. You want to generate code, like actual code for a website, Replit. Generate video, Synthesia, generate music, SoundRaw, generate TikToks, Flicky, and so on down the line. So these are all different types of AI that is kind of focused on creating certain types of things. So you can look at those. I really didn't get a URL, so just look them up on Google. You'll find them. But I think it's a good baseline if you're trying to do any of these things here, to go check out some of these new AI tools to help you get things done quicker. We're finding that we're getting more work done more quickly, more efficiently by using AI as a helper. It's like digging a ditch by hand, or digging it with a shovel, or digging it with a backhoe, right? You can get a lot faster done with a backhoe than with your hands. So just think of it as another tool in the arsenal, but you have to know where to dig, how deep to dig, and so on. So don't forget that AI is just a tool. Don't consider it the be-all, end-all of everything you're doing. Neil Patel actually had 100 experimental sites using AI written content, and some of those had content exclusively written by AI, just AI, zero human editing or writing. Others had kind of ones that humans edited and polished and fleshed out. And he analyzed how an update, it was last year, it wasn't recent actually. What he found was that the sites that had content exclusively generated by AI with no human involvement, they got crushed in the rankings. They saw an average of 17% drop in traffic and dropped an average of 8 spots in search. So if you're doing just AI stuff, you're not doing you're not giving us any value. If you're writing sites that completely written with AI, but you have some human involvement, they fared better. They saw only a 6% drop in average and about 3 positions in search. But remember, these sites were all generated strictly with AI, some with human interaction, some without. But it goes to show you that if you don't really get in there and kind of use your own, expertise and experience, right, you're not going to do as well as someone that did. So Patel admits it's still a little early to draw too many conclusions here, but it does seem like Google's taking steps to address AI-generated content. And the takeaway is, don't just use purely generated, because it could wind up being a problem for the long run. Bottom line, don't use AI tools without some level of user interaction. Great for ideas to get the ball rolling on some content, but be sure to fact check everything and add your own value to the piece written by the AI. And Google may not be able to tell all content written by AI, but if anybody can do it, it's going to be Google. So be careful, right? Now, if you've got content that is not going to be, or you don't need it to be indexed by Google, go for it. Like if you're just going to be creating a whole bunch of like a 30-day list of social media posts, just so you can get a really quick thing. I've seen a couple things online where, you can get a list of this stuff and you can go bring it into Canva, and then Canva will create content and images, and you can just export it all out and be done. It's not going to get indexed by Google. It's got no impact on anything. Go ahead and use it. No problem. If you're creating a PDF that you're going to be giving out to folks as a download for giving you their email address, you don't care if it's indexed or not by Google, right? Just giving it out. It's okay to use it then. Don't worry about it. But if you want your content that's written to be indexed by Google, don't do it without giving it a little check, give it a little massage so that you got your own, flavor of it.